With a new day comes new strength and new thoughts. So, for starting a new chapter of learnings, I, Namneet Kaur Grover, being your host for today's event, wants to extend a warm greeting and good evening to all of you present here. I hope you all are doing amazing. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on the topic Miraculous Trek to Holy Kailash Mansarovar. And to add our guest of honor, I would like to welcome today's speaker, Mr. Murli Menon, sir. It is a great honor to have you with us, sir. We are really grateful for your presence. Also, I see people joining with us. Before I proceed, let me take a brief moment to introduce my organization. SAMS Welfare Foundation is a non-profit entity established to work in the areas of education, social welfare, women empowerment, skill development, and entrepreneurship, livelihood generation, and employability, health, research, culture, sports, international cooperation, environment protection, and other similar sectors. We promote healthy lives, a balanced and active community, and strong businesses. Now, let me introduce today's speaker to you. Mr. Murli Menon is a linguistic expert, a poet, a storyteller, and a speaker. A non-resident Keralite, he hails from Kolingode in Palakkad district, now settled in Ahmedabad, has been pursuing advanced research on the effects of storytelling on the unconscious mind. He is the president of Menon Consultant Incorporated, Ahmedabad. Murli is an international acclaimed ZENLP trainer. Murli's book has been prescribed as textbooks in different American universities. His name is listed in the International Who is Who of Intellectuals by International Biographical Institute, Cambridge. Murli is the only Asian to become a certified member of We Care Coalition of USA and is the recipient of the International Award for Distinguished Leadership given by American Biographical Institute USA. In today's session, being a storyteller, Mr. Murli Menon will be reciting a story regarding a miraculous trek to Holy Kailash Mansarovar.
So I'm going to tell you a story about my trek to Kailash Mansarovar. I've gone there thrice. The first time I went in 2004, the second time I went in 2006, and the third time I went in 2014. I'm talking to you about my second trek, that is in 2006, I went to Kailash Mansarovar. This is about that trek. Next, the place, all of you know, Tibet is located, Kailash Mansarovar is located in Tibet, which was an independent country, but it was captured by China, and now though the government of China rules Tibet, Tibet is a independent prefecture, which means Tibet is an autonomous, it's known as autonomous region of Tibet. So to enter Tibet, you just need an entry permit from Nepal. You don't need a visa to China. Dolma La Pass. The pass I crossed when I went to Tibet from Nepal is the Dolma La Pass. After crossing the Dolmala Pass, you enter Mount Kailash and Mansarovar. Now, the title of my talk is Miraculous Trip to Kailash Mansarovar. What is a miracle? I'll tell you what is a miracle. The miracle is the following. I had a lot of constraints while I was trekking to Kailash Mansarovar. The constraint was that I do not wear any woolen clothes. I went only wearing khadi jackets and khadi clothing. I did not wear any wool because I'm a vegan. The spelling of vegan is VEGAN, and a vegan does not wear or use any animal products. As wool comes from sheep, and sheep is an animal product, we do not use wool. So I went wearing a khadi jacket. I didn't have any leather shoes. Leather again comes from the skin of dead animals. So I didn't use leather. I wore only canvas shoes, and walking with canvas shoes in the ice is very slippery, but still I managed to do the parikrama. Even in May, which is the hottest season of India, Kailash Mansarovar temperature is 20, 18, 10. It can fall as low as 4. So it's very slippery, and Dolmala Pass is covered with snow throughout the year. I had no experience of high altitude trekking. The first time I went, of course, I did not have. The second time I went, I'd already traveled to many peaks in Ladakh, Sikkim, and China. But this is about my second trip when I was relatively new to trek. I had only rupees 10,000 in cash. And I follow a vegan diet, which means I eat only fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, and grains. I did not have any animal product like any dairy or anything during my trek. I did not pay any bribes to the Chinese government or the Nepalese government or to the visa office. I just, without anything, just with 10,000 rupees in my hand, I went and came. I had no allopathic medicines because all allopathic medicine is tested on animals. And as a vegan, we do not take any allopathic medicines. We only have natural products like tulsi, neem, etc. I had no medical checkup before my trek and while after returning back. Next, the expertise. I am the author of 30 books on ZENLP. ZENLP is a combination of Zen meditation and neuro linguistic programming, which I had already explained to you in my last talk on stress management. I was armed with ZENLP music. To listen to this music, you go to sleep immediately and you sleep for 8 hours. The more you sleep, the more energy you have in the morning to trek. In fact, I could trek faster and more consciously than many other experienced mountaineers who left midway. I always carry a dream diary. What is a dream diary? Whatever dream I see, whenever I'm in the night, when I'm sleeping, I note it down in a diary and I carry this diary. I'll tell you what dream I had before I went to Kailash. I had a dream that I'm in Kailash and Kailash is shrouded with dark clouds. Then from the heaven, the first shloka of the sixth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is heard. Anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karotiya sasanyasi cha yogi cha na niragnirna chakriyah. So after seeing this mantra, the clouds passed and I could see Kailash. So the divine providence in the dream was when you're in Kailash, remember the Gita. Morning I woke up and I started my trek and I'll tell you what was the exact trek. I only took dried fruits with me, almonds, walnuts, raisins, anjeer. I did not carry any food and I took mineral water from the Kali Ganga river, which flows, and the Brahmaputra river, which flow from Kailash. I always do visualization. Visualization is before reaching Kailash, I visualize that I'm in Kailash, took a photograph of me standing in front of Mount Kailash and put it in my mind. Because everything happens twice in life. Once in the mind and then in the body. So the mind is the, you know, most important part of reaching Kailash. So I visualized positive thinking. I did not think I'll have oxygen problems. Every 1,000 feet you go up, 10% oxygen reduces. So when you reach 20,000 feet, 20% oxygen is less. So most of the people who go there, they get cerebral edema or the brain starts to accumulate water and your head starts getting swollen and you go into a coma. That is known as high altitude sickness, which affects even army personnel and Chinese guards who guard the border. But because of the meditation, I did not have altitude sickness in all my three trips, but this was the second trip. I always followed a vegan diet. I ate only dry fruits and mineral and natural water from the river. I did not eat anything else. But I had some expertise. My expertise is palm reading. As you know, I had only 10,000 in the pocket, the rupees, but I know palmistry. I read the palm of many of the Chinese guards, many of the Tibetans, locals, and many of the Nepalese citizens, and that's how I reached Kailash. Because with every palm reading, they took me to my next trekking destination. It's a 15-day trek to Kailash. I know some magic tricks. The magic trick I'm going to show you today is the 15 names of Arjuna as it appears in the Bhagavad Gita. I'll come to that in the last slide. Stories. I have traveled to 35 countries in last 35 years, and I know stories from Indonesia, Malaysia, China, India, Sri Lanka, Nepal. So I create a rapport with the people I meet through storytelling. So that is why I'm doing this storytelling session with you, because as a professional, I'm a storyteller and I've conducted more than 1,000 storytelling workshops in about 35 countries around the world in the last 35. Press clippings. I've been interviewed by more than about 100 newspapers in almost all the countries. And I presently write a column in 10 American newspapers and travel magazines. So I'm not only an author, but I'm also a columnist. I write columns. I had my columns with me to show to the visa office and the government officials so that they know I'm a journalist and my costs get reduced. I normally got the vehicles free of cost to drop me to the next destination in motorable roads. But otherwise, in the trek, two people accompanied me, the locals who wanted to show the palm, and they took me to the next destination. Next. Next slide. The power to succeed is within you. This is the trip. I'm based in Ahmedabad, which, as you know, is the in Gujarat, and I went from Ahmedabad to Delhi by flight because Delhi is the nearest international airport. There are no flights from Ahmedabad to Kathmandu. From Delhi, I went to Kathmandu. Kathmandu to Zangmu by jeep with 10,000 rupees. Zangmu to Saga. Saga to Paryang. To Saga to Paryang. Paryang to New Tongba. New Tongba to Chui Gompa. Chui Gompa to Dolmala Pass. And from Dolmala Pass to Darchen and back the same route. Darchen is where you see Mount Kailash, and the trek around Mount Kailash takes 7 days, return 7 days, so 15-day trek and 15-day to go from Kathmandu to Mount Kailash. Next, that is the view of the mountains in Saga. This is my newspaper interview in the Hindu, which is a newspaper published from Chennai. And this was when I was doing a storytelling session in Bangalore for the BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. Next. That is me at Nayalam. After you cross the Nepal border, I met a Nepalese truck driver who showed me his palm, and he was going to Tibet to drop some package. So I told him, I'll read your palm, but I don't take money. So he said, sir, don't take money, but I'll drop you all the way up to. I had the Tibet permit, which cost 100 US dollars, which I got it from the Chinese embassy by seeing the palm of the Chinese guard who saw me at the embassy. So I got the $100 was all I spent for the visa. That is, I had a Tibet entry permit. The visa to China is more expensive, but the Tibet entry permit is 100 US dollars from Nepal. It is free for Nepalese, but for Indian citizens, you have to get the permit. Naila is at 10,000 feet above sea level. Next, yeah. This is the Dolmala Pass. So with 10,000 up to Dolmala Pass, you can go by the horse or you can go by the yak or you can I went on trek because as a vegan we do not travel on animals. So from the time the truck driver dropped me, it was all trekking with my dry fruits and water and seeing the palm of the locals who used to take me to the next destination. So like that I reached Dolmala Pass. Dolmala Pass in May. This was on May 15th, 2006. You can see the amount of snow, and I'm wearing a Rexine jacket. It's not khadi, but it's Rexine. Rexine is not leather. This is made of polyester, so it's not an animal product. And I also have an identity card with my visa on my neck, like a dog tag. Next. This is the source of the river Brahmaputra. I had a dip in the midnight 3 o'clock during Brahma Muhurt because the total Kailash was clouded with dark clouds and Kailash was not visible. So then I remembered my dream. And in the dream, I had said, remember the Gita. So I remembered the Gita. In the Gita, there are 15 names of Arjuna. Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna in different ways in all the 15 chapters. In 3 chapters, he is not mentioned. So if you recite the names of Arjuna in the exact order as it appears in the Bhagavad Gita, the dark clouds will disappear, cyclones will disappear, earthquakes will disappear, and the person who chants the names of Arjuna gets the power of controlling nature. So I started, after taking a bath in the Brahmaputra, I started chanting the 15 names of Arjuna. Anyone in the audience knows the different names of Arjuna? In the first chapter, Arjuna is termed as Partha. Chanchalam Astira Mana Partha. Partha is the first name. Second name is Arjuna. Third name is Kaunteya. Kaunteya means son of Kunti. Partha Arjuna Kaunteya. B is for Bharata. Bharata is another name for Arjuna, from where Bharat, India, comes from Arjuna. Arjuna is known as Bharata. P is Parantapa. Parantapa, a person who meditates. When Arjuna hit the eye during Draupadi Swayamvar, he was meditating and he was concentrating on his goal. This meditation is what we teach in ZenLP meditation, how to improve your concentration. So my focus was Kailash, so I kept on visualizing the dark clouds getting over and a clear Kailash. So Partha Arjuna Kaunteya, Bharata Jishnu. J is for Jishnu. Jishnu is another name for Arjuna in the fifth chapter. Bharata, Jishnu, Parantapa. Parantapa is another name in the sixth chapter. Kiriti, Dhananjaya. Sabyasachi. Sabyasachi means a person who can shoot arrows with his left hand and right hand. In English, it is known as ambidextrous. An ambidextrous person can write Hindi with the left hand and English with the right hand simultaneously. So Arjuna was ambidextrous, so he's called Sabyasachi by Krishna. So that's the ninth name. The 10th name is Kapi Dwaja. Kapi means Hanumanji, Dwaja means flag. The person on whose flag there is Hanumanji, Kapi Dwaja. G is Gudakeshi. Gudakeshi means whose charioteer is Lord Krishna. F is Falgunan. So how many names are over? Can anyone type? 12 names are over. 13th name is Dhanush Dari, a person who wields the bow and arrow. Dhanush Dari. Shwet Vahana, a person who rides a white horse. I will leave the 15th name as a mystery in the chat. If any one of you has read the Gita, please type the 15th name. I'll do a free palm reading session for you by WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is there with Sakshi and Namneet, both who have all. I think Namneet has already shown her palm and she's got the predictions. You can check with her how good I am. Next, this is Mount Everest as seen from Lake Mansarovar. Mansarovar, the driver dropped me. The truck driver dropped me to Mansarovar, whose palm I read. And this is Mount Everest as seen from Lake Mansarovar. Clicked by my Nikon DSLR camera. My camera had batteries only for 36 photographs. And the 36 photograph is a miracle. So wait for the last slide. Next. This is Mount Everest seen from. This is me meditating on Kailash. Me meditating on the lawns on. That's me wearing the Rexine pants, canvas shoes, and Rexine jacket, and the Khadi koti, which I got from Gandhi Ashram, Ahmedabad. I regularly buy Khadi from Gandhi Ashram, Ahmedabad, because it's authentic. All other Khadi you get is not authentic. They are always mixed with handloom. Khadi handmade by the ashram weavers is only what I wear. Next. That's me at Lake Mansarovar. Mansarovar is from horizon to horizon. It is the largest freshwater lake, high altitude freshwater lake in the world. It looks like Marina Beach or Juhu Beach or whatever. It's from horizon to horizon. This photograph was clicked by one of the local villagers whose palm I saw, because in this weather nobody takes a dip in Kailash. I took 9 dubkis because 9 is a holy number in Hinduism, and chanted the 15 names of Arjuna, and all the dark clouds went. And I'll show you the last picture, the miraculous picture. Next. This is the trek around Kailash, which takes 15 days. It's a 110-kilometer trek. Every day you walk about 20 kilometers. So it takes about 7 days to do this trek. This is Mount Kailash in the center. And the parikrama, I had different, uh, local villagers who accompanied me because I did not know the way. But they kept accompanying me and I saw their palms. And even today, some of the people whose palm I saw in 2006, they call me from Tibet and say, my predictions are coming true. Next. This is Nepal, Tibet, and India. This is the whole jeep journey from Kathmandu up to Nailam and to Lake Mansarovar. And then trekking to Kailash and then the parikrama. The parikrama is known as Kora in Tibetan. So I did the inner Kora, that is Shivji, and the outer Kora, that is Mahadev. And Lord Kailash is Lord Shivji's abode. He is there throughout the year. Next. That's me in front of Mount Everest and Mansarovar. I'm a little younger because I was 40 in 2006. Now I'm 57. Next. This is me in front of Mount Kailash with the clouds. All the, when I went there, it was like pitch dark. The camera could not even take a photograph. But after chanting the 15 names of Arjuna as it appears in the Gita, the clouds came and I could see it. Many people came to Kailash on the day I reached there on helicopter, very big Indian industrialists, but they went back when they saw the clouds. But they did not have the knowledge. That is why knowledge is more powerful than money. The helicopters returned back because they had no darshan. In the 30 minutes after chanting the names of Arjuna, after 15 names of Arjuna, in the order as it appears in the Gita, at the banks of Brahmaputra, all the clouds disappeared. And this is me. Again, you see, I'm wearing a Sambalpuri kurta, which is made of cotton pants bought from Sambalpur, and the Rexine jacket, which was given to me by a Tibetan friend who felt that Khadi will not protect me. Next. That's Mount Kailash. This is the miraculous photo, the last slide. Can anyone tell me what you see on the screen? This happened on June 6th. So I'm giving you a clue. June 6, 2006, this photo was taken at Lake Mansarovar. You can see something in the picture in the water. Type it. Type it. This is the my sessions are always full of quizzes. Can anyone guess what are the birds you see in the picture? This was the last photograph I clicked. After that, the batteries ran out. The last, because there is no electricity in Tibet from Kathmandu up to Kailash. You have to you have to charge the phone fully at Kathmandu, and when you return back to Kathmandu, you can charge. In between, there is no charging points. There is no electricity in Tibet. Nobody can guess. Okay, go to the next slide. I'll tell you the answer. Those two birds are ducks, are swans. This is Mount Kailash as clicked from my camera. Next. That is the south face of Mount Kailash. The other was the north face. Kailash is a pyramid with four phases: east, west, north, and south. Next. That is the last slide. So, can you tell me what is the 15th name of Arjuna? And what did you see in that picture? What were those two birds? Go back. Yeah. I'll tell you the story about the swans. What happens in Amarnath? There are two doves seen in Amarnath. Does anyone know the story of the doves? Anyone knows the story of the two doves in Amarnath? They will know the story of the two swans in Mansarovar Lake. Shall I tell you the answer? Because all of you seem to be clueless. On June 6th is Gayatri Jayanti Day. What is Gayatri Jayanti? Gayatri Jayanti is the day Lord Vishwamitri got the Gayatri mantra from Lord Brahma at Brahma Muhurt, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. So at 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., this photo is clicked in the night. Lord Shiva on 6th June and Goddess Parvati come in the form of swans and give darshan. So this is the miracle. I had a sakshat darshan of Lord Shivji, and after that, all my palmistry predictions are coming true. All the people whose palm I've seen, 9,000 people in last 35 years, everyone called me, sir, after your Kailash trip, all your predictions are coming true. Because I had the sakshat darshan of Shiv and Parvati ji. And with the last photograph, after this, the battery is conked off. So any questions, I'm welcome. I think I've done a fair enough job in the 30 minutes I got. 30 minutes for questions and answers. For palm reading, girls, send me your left palm print. And guys, send me your right palm print with date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, and photograph of the palm print. Those who won the prize. Let's see who all have won the prize. Please type your answers in the chat. 15 name of Arjuna in the 15th chapter of the Gita. What is the name of Lord Arjuna as said by Lord Krishna? If you don't believe me, you can take the Gita. In some chapters, he is addressed as Parantapa, some Partha, some Arjuna, some Kaunteya. Chanchala Mana Krishna, says Arjuna. Mind is restless, is very chanchal. So what Lord Krishna replies? Lord Krishna replies, Na chati swapna silasya, na bodhasya, yukta swapna bodhasya, yukta swapna va bodhasya, jagrato naiva Arjuna. That means a person who sleeps too much and a person who wakes up too much can never attain meditation. Oh Arjuna. So in this trek, I trekked 20 kilometers a day for 15 days. When I came back, I lost 4 kilograms of weight. And with 10,000, I came back with 10,000 rupees, with all these pictures and no dry fruits and lots of bichu gas. All the Tibetans eat is bichu gas, which is known as stinging nettle in English. So they made that is vegan, and they cooked for me after the palm reading session. And I had lots of water from the lake Mansarovar. When I came back, came back with 5 liters of water. I still have 1 liter of water with me. Anyone wants the water in Ahmedabad can contact me. Any questions? Please type it in the chat. I'll answer.
So there is a question. It is also said what there is a cave which is next to Kailash Mansarovar. Is that true?
Absolutely right. There is a cave where Lord Milarepa meditated and attained enlightenment, but it can only be accessed in the inner Kora. So you have to be absolutely walk about 20 kilometers to reach the cave. I've been to the cave and I brought water from Milarepa's cave. Yeah.
As it is also being said that near the Kailash Mansarovar, there is a place where the time used to stop or it comes at the halt.
Absolutely right. The nails will grow 7 times faster and time stops. And many of the mountaineers lose their way.
So is it still the place is open for the tourists to visit there?
Absolutely not, because Lord Shiva and Parvati are in that time zone. So nobody can access. There is a hidden wall where, once a Swiss expedition tried to climb Mount Kailash. Mount
Hmm.
Kailash is the only peak in the world which is not climbed by any mountaineer, because all the Swiss team died because they could not cross the time barrier.
Okay.
I've done the inner Kora, so I know the time barrier exists. But beyond the time barrier, only you see Lord Shiva in the form of swan. But very few people photograph it. National Geographic and other photographers spent years, but they could not get it. I got it in my second trip. The
Yes, sir.
first trip I went from India. That is, there is a way to Mount Kailash through Kumaon, which is a 45-day trek, which is a normal Indian government yatra. The second trip I went through Nepal. The third trip I went through Chengdu in China. Fourth trip I went through Lhasa. So the fifth trip I'm going next year, 2025.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful knowledge. I hope our audience had a great experience by you and they will also visit. Thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, I will be sharing the number of Sir Murli Menon on WhatsApp on the chat. You can contact them on the WhatsApp to with him. We are happy to provide you additional support if you need. Thank you so much for cooperating, everyone. Stay tuned for new learnings. I, Namneet Kaur, your host, signing off for today. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.